Hey everyone, so we're very excited to spend some time with you today. I'm Dr. Bree. And I'm Dr. Alyssa, and we are going to take you behind the scenes of how we actually started our cash-based pelvic floor PT practice, Renew Health in Western Massachusetts, and what you really need to know if you're thinking about starting on yourself. This is one of our most requested trainings in terms of really just getting started. A lot of you guys are maybe in the beginning stages, maybe you're excited to get started, you're motivated, but maybe you're also feeling overwhelmed. That was something that we dealt with when we first started our practice, and a lot of people ask us questions like, what do I spend money on? How do I find patients? Really, like, where do you even start? Right. And we had each other and kind of bounce some of these ideas off of, which was super helpful. But most of you guys don't. So we want to simplify things for you guys. So we're going to break it down into really like 3 essentials for today. First thing is keeping your costs low when you're starting off. Marketing strategies that actually work in the beginning. And really, honestly, why systems and coaching are really non-negotiables in the beginning if you want to build a practice that lasts. So we're going to dive into each of those today, but let's start with money, because honestly, this is where a lot of new owners get stuck, right, Brie? We see this all the time. Yeah. We see people overspend before they've even seen a single patient. Brie, remember our very first startup? We thought we needed the fanciest everything.
Oh yeah. I mean, when we first started, we were doing
Mobile, and honestly, like, all I had was a folding table, which we still have to this day, a duffel bag with some resistance band, a few kettlebells, a few dumbbells that I would just keep in my car. And of course, pelvic health, you need gloves and lubricant, pretty cheap. And honestly, it wasn't anything glamorous, and our patients did get better, but that was a very profitable start, really from day one, just by keeping our business really lean, right? And I think that's the key, is keeping things lean for as long as possible. You don't need the Instagram worthy clinic right away. I know you guys are seeing a lot of people post about their clinics, including ours, but you just need to prove your model first. You need to keep expenses low. You need to actually generate some sort of revenue. So for us, after mobile, which Bree did most of it,
Yeah.
we moved into renting one small shared room. And when I say small, I mean small. And I mean, we were sharing a schedule with each other and working out of this little office, trying to make it work for as long as possible. Now, it definitely was not perfect, but it allowed us to see clients in a professional space without taking on this crazy, massive overhead.
Yeah, that's after we've proven that the cash-based PT model really worked in our area. We were the first ones to really do that in Western Mass at the time, and we had enough client flow. And at the time, that's when we really looked at expanding to our first like real clinic, where we were actually going to grow into potentially, different treatment rooms and maybe a gym space. But that took a few months. And honestly, that shared space, we outgrew pretty quickly. And our mistake was signing a 1-year lease for that space when we outgrew it in probably 3 months. And then at the time, again, we found a bigger space. We have 5 treatment rooms and a gym space, but we wouldn't have been able to make that jump, buy the equipment, buy the furniture, and make it the pretty space that it is today.
Right. So that's what we see. It's like a lot of clinicians will sign a lease on a gorgeous office space. They spend 20 grand on equipment, $10,000 on a fancy website that probably could have been done on your own. And then they're stressed every single month because they don't have the patients yet. So don't do that. Don't make those mistakes. Do a lot of it and learn a lot of it yourself. And then find somebody like us or any other coaches out there in the space that can do a lot of this for you.
So you want to be able to write down the bare minimum that you need to treat the patients, right? So a lot of you guys, it's a table, a private space, which could be mobile, so treating patients out of their house. You can sublet a small office, even in your garage, if you have it properly like zoned and whatnot. We know a lot of people that have started that way. And then look at a way that you can take payment, right? Square, make sure that, of course, everything's like HIPAA compliant. Maybe start with a BAA with a Google Doc. Really just keep everything pretty lean. And then, of course, making sure that you have all the licensure and business licenses that you need.
Let's talk about marketing. That's like one of my favorite things to talk about, honestly. So a lot of time people start with the wrong strategies when it comes to marketing. So we see new business owners spending thousands of dollars on SEO packages, social media managers, or even running ads, and they don't even have a system to answer the phone or nurture leads. So, this is honestly where your money is probably going to get wasted. Ads are not magic. They're gasoline. And if you pour gas in a broken engine, nothing happens. So, we talk through when to start these types of advertisements or marketing strategies when it actually makes sense for your business.
And when you're really starting out, people need to know who you are, right? So you need to be out in the community. You don't want to spend hours in your office just hoping the phone rings and just putting some, slides on Canva. You need to be out in the community. You need to be hosting workshops like we were. We were out in the community at yoga studios, coffee shops, CrossFit gyms, introducing ourselves to midwives, doulas, and really just showing up so that people knew that we existed.
Because again, you can have the sexiest looking Instagram, but if nobody is paying you money from Instagram, then there's really no point. So here's the mindset shift that we want you guys to have. Your job is not just to be a good clinician, it is to be visible. People can't hire you if they don't know that you're there. So, like Bree said, sitting in an empty office and just like hoping that the phone rings is the fastest way to close your doors. So, it doesn't have to be the sexiest Instagram initially. You really need to think about grassroots marketing and put yourself out there.
And one gym partnership can bring you 10 clients. And for us, we really developed good, meaningful relationships in our community with people that we actually care about. So it's not necessarily about the amount of people that you talk to. Really develop and nurture your relationships with the people that you care about.
Like quality over
Right, exactly. And any relationship is about reciprocity, right? So make sure that you're showing up for those people as well. Reciprocity is about creating a flow, giving generously, and then business growth comes naturally. It builds trust in the community, loyalty, and the relationships are much better. You don't want to be that person that just asks for things.
No, and you don't want to be that person that like literally just shows up to every single place just because you can. So your action step here is to make a list of, I would say 5 places in your community where your ideal client already hangs out. Maybe it's a place you already hang out. Gyms, it could be a mom group, it could be a coffee shop, yoga studios, women's health clinics. It doesn't really matter, but reach out this week, offer to teach a workshop, drop off some information about your clinic, or honestly just go in and introduce yourself. If it's a coffee shop, go and buy coffee every day. That's how you start building awareness of who you are and your brand.
Let's talk about systems. And that's what we love.
Right, and that's why we're here.
Yeah, and that's why we're here. Without systems, your business is really just organized chaos. And from the beginning, this is where we wish we started day one. It took us, a year plus? At least over a year to actually have systems outside of just like a phone log, losing leads, because we didn't have a good system to follow. And that's how you explain every part of your business. You guys should be having, standard operating procedures that you're updating at least twice a year, if not more. And that's really what's going to move things ahead, is actually the systems that you create in your business.
The system could be anything. It could be, again, the way that you answer the phone. It could be the discussions that you have with potential clients. It could be the way in which you are, again, nurturing leads. And honestly, we didn't have that in the beginning, like Bree said, and having systems right from the jump could have saved us a lot of time, a lot of money, and stress, to be honest. So for lead tracking, emails, consistent onboarding of patients, like we changed everything when we started really diving into the systems that really helped our business. And once we did that, our business took off.
Yeah, and that's really where even coaching comes in. Business is a skill set, just like doing a pelvic floor assessment. And you wouldn't expect to do an internal exam without any training. And that really goes the same way with running a business. Coaching and mentorship shortcuts the learning curve that you guys will have.
So again, it's the same as clinical mentorship. If you find a mentor and you can decrease the time it takes to learn those skills, you save a ton of money. Same thing goes with business systems. We've seen people, again, waste years and tens of thousands of dollars trying to figure it out all on their own, or they're working with coaches who charge thousands of dollars for like one coaching call and outdated advice. Coaching that provides you real business strategies gives you the frameworks, gives you the scripts, gives you the accountability, is really what's going to help you build your confidence. And honestly, it helped us like avoid burnout too, working with some of the mentors that we've worked with. And we want business to feel like fun for you guys and an adventure that makes it all worth it versus something that you're just trying to step away from ultimately.
Yeah, so honestly, one of the things that you guys can do pretty much today is really audit the systems that you're using. So, how do people find you? How do they book? What happens after they book? What happens after their first visit? How do you re-engage past clients? If you don't have clear answer to those or the systems live in your head, right, that's your next priority.
Let's recap the 3 essentials for really starting your cash-based pelvic floor practice. Or if you're already a vet, but you don't have any of these systems, then I would start here as well. You want to keep your costs low. Again, especially if you're a newbie, keep your costs low, stay lean. Don't overspend on things that aren't worth it.
The things that look fancy.
Right, probably
We kind of did that a little bit in the beginning too by spending all that money on the gym equipment that we really didn't need to spend money on. But
And again, focus on your marketing in communities, not ads, SEO packages, or the next like social media manager that you think is going to change your business. Get your systems and coaching in place early so that you can scale sustainably over time and that you don't waste time like we did in the beginning without a plan.
you don't need to be perfect, but you do need to start. So you don't need, again, the big office, you don't need the fancy equipment or the perfect branding, the perfect website even. But what you do need is clarity, consistency, and really the right support.
And really, that's why we build PelviPreneur. You know, this is a great community. It's your shortcut in your support system. So lean into the community that we're building. Ask us questions, watch any trainings that we put within our inner circle, and honestly take action because you don't need more information. You just need to do the thing.
Right. And you guys can build a business that works for you. And that means, whether you just want more time freedom, if maybe you want to make a little bit more money. So increasing your income, increasing your impact in your community, all without burning out. Thanks for spending time with us, and we'll see you in our further group discussions. Follow us in our PelviPreneur Inner Circle, and we will have that link below.
Thanks, guys.